Tonight, our special transmission as U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris stops short of supporting an arms embargo on Israel. Assalamu alaikum and good evening. This is Muslim News Canada on Muslim Network TV. I'm Zahra Sayed. Today is the 309th day since the onset of Israel's war. In the past 24 hours, Israel has attacked 60 locations in Gaza. These attacks have killed at least 40 Palestinians. Israeli airstrikes hit 2 schools in Gaza City that were sheltering displaced Palestinians. 15 civilians have been killed and 30 are injured. Israeli forces have launched a new offensive in Khan Yunis. Military vehicles, bulldozers, and infantry have targeted around 30 sites. This comes after Israel issued fresh evacuation orders to the residents. Strikes on homes in the Nuseirat, Al-Maghazi, and Jabalia refugee camps claimed more than civilian lives. The United Nations has reported that 205 humanitarian aid workers have been killed in Gaza since October 7th. The United Nations Satellite Center estimates that 63% of all structures in Gaza have been damaged or destroyed during the war. The hardest hit areas in recent months have been Rafah and northern Gaza. Israeli strikes in these areas have damaged 15,030 structures. At least 39,699 Palestinians have been killed by Israel in the past 10 months. 91,722 have been injured. Israel stands accused of genocide at the International Court of Justice. The court has ordered Israel to immediately halt its military operations in the city of Rafah. The Israeli army is facing significant challenges in recruiting ultra-Orthodox Haredi Jews for military service. Despite plans to enlist around 1,000 Haredi Jews this week, only 30 showed up. They are protesting against compulsory enlistment. The protests have led to 3 arrests. A recent Supreme Court ruling mandates Haredi conscription. The ruling orders cutting financial aid to institutions whose students refuse service. The Haredi community comprises about 13 of Israel's 9.9 million population. It avoids military service to focus on religious studies. A man in a leaked photo from detainee detention camp has shared harrowing details of his ordeal in Israeli custody. Ibrahim Salim was detained after a hospital raid in Gaza. Salim spent 8 months at the detainment facility. He says it is common practice for soldiers to strip detainees naked and insert objects into their rectum. Salim describes being subjected to severe beatings, electrocution, and degrading treatment. He is also detailed being raped by female soldiers. The infamous photo was published by CNN. It captures Salim blindfolded and shackled. Salim and many other Palestinians are detained without charge and then subject to rampant abuse. Several rights groups have also documented systemic torture in the facility. Salim says he is haunted by his disturbing experiences. Vice President Kamala Harris's National Security Advisor Phil Gordon has refuted claims that Harris supports halting arms transfers to Israel. Free Palestine groups had hoped for a shift in U.S. policy. Recently, Harris has expressed sympathy for the suffering in Gaza. However, she stopped short of endorsing an arms embargo. Gordon says Harris is committed to ensuring Israel's right to self-defense against threats from Iran and its allies. At the same time, he says the United States will continue efforts to protect civilians in Gaza. Activists argue that the United States military aid contributes to the ongoing crisis. Their call for a policy change is gaining momentum. Canada, the European Union, and other Western allies have sharply condemned recent comments by Israeli Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich. Smotrich said that starving Gaza's 2 million residents is justified until hostages taken by militants are returned. He made the comments while speaking at a conference. Smotrich argued that international norms should not prevent such measures. The EU is calling his remarks a war crime. Canada denounces the comments. It says these comments undermine peace prospects. Britain's Foreign Secretary and Germany's ambassador also condemned the statements as unacceptable. Egypt calls them a breach of international law and incitement against Palestinians. Nagasaki's mayor Shiro Suzuki has defended his decision to exclude Israel from Friday's atomic bomb memorial. Suzuki's decision has received backlash from several countries. He says the move is aimed at preventing potential protests related to Israel's aggression in Gaza. The United States, the United Kingdom, and other nations have expressed discontent. Lower-level officials from the US, the UK, and the European Union will attend the ceremony. The British Embassy says exclusion of Israel is creating an unfortunate equivalency. Russia and Belarus are the only other countries not invited to the ceremony. Thank you for watching. Our news is produced by Muslim Network TV, which is a non-profit organization. We need your support for donations. Please scan the QR code on our broadcast or visit muslimnetwork.tv to donate now, so we can continue to amplify the voices of Muslims in Canada and abroad. Assalamu alaikum.